Alright, welcome back. You may notice that I've added this in since last time, and what I wanted to do was to build on this idea of the intervals. So what I did first of all was just add this root D in. And the idea is to play that when the bass line stops. So if I just move it on, hold on. I've been playing around with the arrangement a little bit, but we'll get into that later on. So just by putting that D on the left hand, it gives the track somewhere to root on, somewhere that you can build from a different position. And then that got me thinking, let's build on that even more, which led to this sound. And I'm going to break this down, how I came up with this. I'm going to put this on the EXS24 sampler, and somewhere in the factory, in synthesizers, in synth pads, we have, forgotten it now, dark Dupy pad. Where are you? There you are. Fat Dupy dark pad. Of course, why would it be called anything else? Anyway, that is a Jupiter 60, and they have a very kind of characteristic big fat 80s sound. So I just mute the intervals, start to bring up the filter. You see, I'm getting that kind of big 80s chord sound. And these aren't that complicated, really. It's just a continuation of the same idea. So I take out that top note, and then take out this bottom stuff. And then just hit compress. You'll see that it's basically the same idea that I was playing in the intervals, just D and F, E and G, E and G up to F and A. Exactly the same, just played in a slightly different rhythm. And then that led me to think, well, let's put some roots in there, which eventually meant I came up with this. Now, if you're not confident with making melodies, as long as you know the notes in a scale, and you can kind of consider, if you can consider playing on a piano, you use your right and your left hand. Using the left hand, you can create root notes, which effectively give you different chords. And just by experimenting with the notes in a particular scale that you've, for example, already played your intervals in, you can create a nice, exciting sounding chord progression, which is pretty much what I did here. And you don't need any particular musical skill to do that. You just need to have a brain, which, you know, occasionally I have. So we take that out. Add the right hand in. And the different velocities of the notes just give you a kind of more human feel, and will make the synth sound either harder or softer depending on how much velocity is there. I put in this high C as well, which plays throughout the whole of the sequence. And it just gives it that little euphoric overtone. Which, if you take it out, you'll see it really does add quite a lot. Now, in terms of adding stuff to the sound, I think I'm going to use some of the tape warmer from Nomad Factory. Maybe a little bit of stereo delay just to bounce it around a bit. A little bit of reverb, also just to throw it into space. And by bringing the dry signal back, you can give it that kind of slightly more paddy, spacey feel. I'm going to add a compressor. I'm going to sidechain it to our side chain, which if I solo, that sounds pretty exciting. Just bring out some of the EQ. By the way, the analyzer function on Logic's channel EQ is a really handy tool. You can see exactly that the frequency range goes from around about 17 to around about 150. Oh no, we get some lows there, so I might just cut those out. And in this case I can use quite a hard shelf because I want a fairly hard cut on that. And the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add in the auto filter just on its default setting, because rather than use the filter within the EXS24, add some resonance to it. Take the envelope all the way down, bring the fatness all the way up. Bring our threshold back a little bit to 25. Dynamic is good. That's pretty good. And while we're at it, I want to also add in a kind of stab chord on the turnarounds. And I'll explain what I mean by that. I'm going to reuse the Prophet, and the way we can do that is just by hitting duplicate. That creates a duplicate instrument. But I don't necessarily want all this extra stuff. So So I'm just going to turn it off for now. And all I want to do here is just have like a transition thing. Maybe 3 chords, just like a C chord, F chord, on D minor. Let's just try that. You have to forgive me, I'm playing with a little keyboard today. I think it's Alt and Shift. You can adjust the length of all notes in everything that you play. Just going to quantize that. That works. I'm just going to send it to a bus. I'll send it to like a tape delay kind of thing, but just for a very defined range in the mid range. Increase the feedback a bit. Could probably use some chorus on there as well. And just glue it in together. Just hear how that sounds. I think that might sound better an octave up. Yeah, definitely. And I want that to play at the end of measures, so I'd put it on bar 8, for instance. I've got that Simmons drum fill going at 17 and at 25. So let me see. I'll leave it like that for now, because I kind of want them to alternate. Probably wouldn't play the intervals together with the pad lead. Like I said earlier on, these things, they're optional. You know, I'm just giving myself lots of musical options for when I build the arrangement. Okay, make it yellow so I know what I'm doing. I'm just going to call that stab chord end of bar. Nice and catchy. All right, cool. Let's come back next time where I'm going to look at some additional bass line stuff.